Google that channel.
Okay. Excellencies, dear friends from the media, good afternoon and welcome to today's press conference on the launching ceremony of the South Asian Regional Office for the Global Center on Adaptation, or GCA Dhaka office in short. My name is Masood bin Momen, I'm the Foreign Secretary. Her Excellency Sheikh Hasina, Honorable Prime Minister of Bangladesh, and His Excellency Ban Ki-moon, Chair of the Global Center on Adaptation, and the 8th Secretary General of the United Nations, have just launched the Global Center on Adaptation's new regional office for South Asia in Dhaka today. Honorable Prime Minister of the Netherlands, His Excellency Mark Rutte, joined us through a video message. Honorable Finance Minister, Honorable Foreign Minister, and Honorable Minister for Environment from Bangladesh were also present and spoke during the launching ceremony, along with the virtual presence of honorable ministers from India, Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, and Maldives. Besides, we were also joined by the virtual presence of Ms. Saima Wazir Hussain, Thematic Envoy for Vulnerability of the Climate Vulnerable Forum, Mr. Abul Kalam Azad, Distinguished Fellow of GCA, Dr. Patrick Verkhuizen, CEO GCA, and representatives from various development partners. After the GCA was founded in 2018, it has significantly contributed to build a climate resilient future in partnership with the private sector and other stakeholders. The GCA Bangladesh office will soon embark on similar activities with a special focus in South Asia in this post-COVID era. Dear friends from the media, now we have with us His Excellency Mr. Ban Ki-moon, 8th Secretary General of the United Nations, Honorable Foreign Minister, who is also the GCA board member from Bangladesh, Honorable Minister for Environment, and Distinguished Fellow of GCA, Mr. Abul Kalam Azad, Dr. Patrick, CEO GCA, and Professor Salimul Haq, Chair of the Expert Advisory Group of CBF. Before we go to the question-answer session, we'll have the opportunity of listening to His Excellency Mr. Ban Ki-moon. Honorable Foreign Minister will say a few words, and then Honorable Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change will read out the press release prepared for today's occasion. They would respond to your queries according to their areas of expertise. Now it is my honor to welcome His Excellency Mr. Ban Ki-moon to speak to the media on this happy occasion of inauguration of the GCA South Asia Dhaka office. Excellency Ban Ki-moon, please.
Thank you, Mr. Foreign Secretary, for your very kind introduction. Honorable Foreign Minister A.K. Abdul Rahman, my good friend, and Honorable Environment Minister, and distinguished members of the media, domestic and foreign, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for all joining us here today. And before I begin, I'd like to again thank Her Excellency Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina for hosting the very important launch of the Global Center on Adaptation today. I have always been grateful for her strong commitment to work for global issues, including climate, particularly during my time as a Secretary General at the United Nations. In recent months, Bangladesh has battled the twin perils of a super cyclone and COVID-19. This brought into sharp focus of the interrelated nature of the climate and the health risks facing humankind. I know I don't need to remind you of the urgency of the task that lie before us as you cover as a journalist every day. But I do want to share a few thoughts with you, ladies and gentlemen, in my capacity as a chair of the Global Center on Adaptation about why we have chosen to host our new regional office in Dhaka. First, we are here to learn the lessons and experiences from Bangladesh. When it comes to adaptation, our best teachers are often those who are on the front lines of climate change. And few countries have more to teach us than Bangladesh. While the rest of the world debates climate change, for you in Bangladesh, adapting to a warmer, more violent, less predictable climate is a matter of absolute survival. If sea level were to rise by just 1 meter, 17% of your country would be underwater by 2050. According to the IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, Dhaka itself could be engulfed by even a slight rise in sea level, according to another UN report. In 2009, Bangladesh became the first country in the world to create a national adaptation program of action. The 10-year plan built more resilient flood defenses and cyclone shelters, strengthened disaster management systems, improved food security, and funded climate research. Results can be measured, not just in the property and livelihoods protected, but in the number of lives that have already been saved. Cyclones are a fact of life in Bangladesh, and death toll have historically been heavy. But as we have seen, when the extreme severe cyclone Amphan hit the country in May this year, there were dozens of fatalities. Any death is hugely regrettable, and we send our sincere condolences and sympathies to the families of those who lost their lives. But we must also be grateful that thanks to more accurate weather forecasting, community-based early warning systems, and stronger shelters, millions of people were moved to safety in socially distanced shelters before it struck. This is adaptation in action. It takes a long-term planning. It takes a preparedness, knowing your vulnerabilities and what to do about them. It takes community education and involvement. It takes technical cooperation and solidarity. And of course, it takes money. The second reason why we are based in Dhaka today is to speed up action on adaptation. Communities all over the world need our help, and they need it now. There are whole countries that are just as vulnerable to climate change as Bangladesh, but which haven't the knowledge or ability to build resilience on their own. We are also here to speed up cooperation on adaptation, north-south, south-south. Never have we needed more. By turning to partners, you can find a common ground and common. One example is the collaboration between Bangladesh and the Netherlands to develop a plan for the long-term resilience of the Bangladesh Delta. These are two countries that know a lot about flooding and are working together to solve problems that they share. With collaboration like this, knowledge grows and spreads and is in turn passed on so other countries and regions can use it to help them adapt to their own climate problems. GCA Bangladesh will serve as an active platform to generate, share, and enhance effective adaptation actions to the adverse impacts of climate change from and across all South Asian countries. Around the world, some 800 million people live at risk of rising seas. Millions more are at risk of drought and desertification. We need to share best adaptation practices more widely, and we need to do it quickly. With the combined expertise and financial resources of the many actors involved in the GCA, we can urgently and co-effectively find ways to help and support those communities most disrupted by climate change. We can help them adapt, survive, and thrive. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, excellencies, I'm an optimist. I believe that adaptation at scale is not beyond the scope of human ingenuity, but it will take a lot more effort, money, cooperation, and action than has been expended to date. What Bangladesh have achieved in the practice of adaptation is nothing short of miraculous. Let us all be inspired by your example. Let us work together again to make our communities safer, healthier, and more prosperous. Thank you. Onek Donabat.
Thank you, Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, for your take on the importance of not only adaptation but also explaining the rationale for choosing Dhaka or Bangladesh as the regional office in South Asia. I would now like to request Foreign Minister Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen, MP, for some preliminary remarks for the media persons.
We are very happy today, and with the chair of the GCA, His Excellency Ban Ki-moon, and Honorable Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, today they inaugurated this regional GCA center. And we are very happy and thrilled because this issue of climate change is a serious one. And in Bangladesh, our parliament has adopted a resolution known as Planetary Emergency. We are an emergency, and we have to work hard together in collaboration, in partnership to resolve this problem. Climate issue is a global issue, and it cannot be left to only one or two single countries. Here we all have to work together, the future of the planet. We cannot have a plan B because there is no other planet. There is only one. So we have to live in that planet, and we have to do everything that is possible for human ingenuity and creativity so that we can get out of this erratic climate changes. I have a firm belief, like Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, I am an optimist. If we work together in collaboration and with commitment and dedication, we will be victorious. We will win over this problem. And I'm so pleased that all the countries around the world, more or less, has made a commitment to help in the problem of climate change. And unfortunately, there is not, some countries are not coming forward that much. We want them to come forward. We have set up this regional center, but I hope that our development partners and all the countries around here, they will come forward and will commit their resources, their experience, their expertise. Bangladesh has gained a lot of experience in managing and adapting and mitigating the climate change issues, and we would like to share our expertise. In the beginning, in the inauguration meeting, I said in 1970, there had been a devastating cyclone in Bangladesh, for which around 500,000 people died. But due to a number of programs, cyclone shelters, involvement of people's participation, many other programs, early warning, and so on and so forth. You'll be happy to know in 2009 we have similar devastating cyclone and tidal waves. Fortunately, only 190 people died. 500,000 and now 190 million. So with efforts, commitment, we can win over. We can save humanity, and therefore we all have to get together. And I urge all the development partners that they should come forward and help us in taking the risks and managing this climate issue. And I again invite all the partners to come forward with their resources, with their intelligence, with their experience, with their expertise, so that we could be successful. Thank you very much.
I thank Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen, MP, Honorable Foreign Minister, for his initial remarks. Now I have the honor to request our Honorable Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, His Excellency Mr. Shahabuddin Ahmed, MP, to read out the press release prepared for this auspicious occasion.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Excellencies, distinguished personality and high officials, representatives of national and international media, non-government organizations, civil society, environment and climate change activists, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. 8 September 2020, today Sheikh Hasina, Honorable Prime Minister of Bangladesh, launched the Global Center on Adaptation, a new regional office in Dhaka, GCA, Bangladesh, with Ban Ki-moon, Chair of the Global Center on Adaptation and 8th Secretary General of the United Nations, and Honorable Prime Minister of the Netherlands, Mark Rutte. The regional office will work with the support South Asian government, city mayor, business leaders, investors, communities, and civil society in accelerating scaling effective adaptation solution to tackle the climate emergency. According to the Global Climate Risk Index to 2019, countries in South Asia are among the most vulnerable globally to the impacts of climate change. Bangladesh was the first country in the world to create a national adaptation program on action and is the current chair of the Climate Vulnerable Forum and Vulnerable Group 20 Ministers of Finance. Speaking at the virtual launch event dedicated to the centenary of the founding the father of Bangladesh, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, Sheikh Hasina, Honorable Prime Minister of Bangladesh, noted that her country is living the port to science of climate change. She also added that we also must not forget the vulnerability of children, women, elderly people, and people of the special needs against disasters. She invited the global community to enhance their nationally determined contribution by December the 31st this year in tackling the menace as well as execute the 2015 Paris Agreement. Ban Ki-moon, chair of the Global Center on Adaptation and 8th Secretary General of the United Nations, said Bangladesh is a striking example of how vulnerable communities can be the most innovative the adapting to climate change. Through GCA Bangladesh, the valuable lessons it has learned will help the rest of the world adapt to our new climate reality. Mark Rutte, Honorable Prime Minister of the Netherlands, said, our countries are only too aware of the importance of climate adaptation as well as reducing our carbon footprint. It is the perfect avenue of investment and innovation. If we invest in adaptation now, we will be better prepared for climate change down the line. It will cost many, but the long-term benefit will far outweigh the short-term cost. Patrick Barkwijan, CEO of the Global Center and Adaptation, said there are many innovative solutions to improve climate resilience in South Asian countries. However, there is an urgent need for them to be both scaled up and accelerate to meet the challenge facing the region. Through our role as a solutions broker, GCA Bangladesh will ensure the most effective adaptation measures are known and implemented in the countries across the region who most need this knowledge. Other ministers from across South Asia also participated in the launch event. Her Excellency Babul Supriyo, State Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, India, His Excellency Lainupo Ishinogyo, Minister of the Ministry of Agriculture and Forests of Bhutan, His Excellency Hussein Rashid Hassan, Ministry of Environment, Maldives, His Excellency Shakti Bahadur Vasnath, Ministry of the Forest and Environment, Nepal, His Excellency Malik Amin Aslam, Federal Minister of Climate Change, Government of Pakistan, His Excellency S.M. Chandrasena, Minister of Environment and Wildlife Resources, Sri Lanka, delivered speeches in the event. The Finance Minister of Bangladesh, His Excellency Mr. A.H.M. Mustafa Kamal, Minister of the Foreign Affairs Bangladesh and Board Member of GCA, His Excellency Mr. Abdul Mumen, and Environment Ministry also. The launch event was followed by the first annual GCA South Asia Partnership Forum. This provided an opportunity of dialogue with key stakeholders and leading experts across South Asia on regional adaptation priorities, including gathering crucial perspective from relevant regional leaders and other stakeholders to inform how GCA Bangladesh can best support them. GCA Bangladesh will focus its effort on priority areas for climate adaptation identified by GCA and its partners in South Asia, supporting locally led adaptation action, water of urban growth, and resilience using nature for more resilient infrastructure, climate finance, youth leadership, and knowledge acceleration capacity building. Samawajid Hussain, Honorable Ambassador for the Climate Vulnerable Forum, was also present at the virtual launch event to discuss the GCA Youth Adaptation Network, which will act as global umbrella platform to engage, empower, and amplify the role of the young people around the world, including in Bangladesh and across South Asia, into the adaptation agenda and provide uh, them with learning opportunities. Thank you all.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, His Excellency Mr. Shahabuddin Ahmed MP, for the press briefing which was prepared on this occasion. I understand that at this point of time, our very dear Honorable Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, who was with us for more than 2.5 hours, he would have to leave. So I, on behalf of everybody here in Bangladesh, express our gratitude for your inspiring words and also for your continued support, not only upholding the cause of adaptation, but also in moving forward with the GCA office in Dhaka. Thank you, Secretary General. It was nice seeing you after we left New York.
Thank you very much. Thank you. See you again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I am also joined here in the dais with my colleagues from the Ministry of Environment, the Secretary, the Additional Secretary, the DG Environment, and also the DG from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Now, I would request all of you to pose brief queries or observations, and I'll ask you to be focused on the issue of today's launching event. Please also introduce yourself and while asking the questions. I understand there was a question to the Honorable Foreign Minister from Bangladesh Shangbad Sangstha, or any other questions?
We'll see the question up there or what? Pardon? It will come to us.
The question gulo kemne dibe?
Written hole chat box.
How we shall get the question?
Nazrul. সময় নষ্ট না করে আমরা একটা দিয়ে শুরু করে দিই স্যারকে যেটা বলছি হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে while we are fixing the technical modalities we had a question from UNB AKM Moinuddin for Honorable Foreign Minister. I read out the question. On Honorable Foreign Minister mentioned that South Asia is the most vulnerable region associated with climate change related to risks and threats. Do you see any genuine commitment from the international community to address the challenges in the region? Honorable
Thank you for the question. You see, of course, I do see, but of course, this is limited. Look at who are the members of the South Asia group. It's Nepal, they have climate difficulty. It's Sri Lanka, it's Bangladesh. Let's take Bangladesh alone with 165 million people. So we are really vulnerable. The whole South Asian region is one of the most vulnerable countries. Bangladesh is one of the top-notch vulnerable countries. Now, your question is where we are getting support. Today is, the inauguration of GCA for South support. And the international organizations, including the GCA World Global, they have come forward to help us out. And there are commitments that many other countries will come forward and our partners will come forward. We are hoping. That's why we started it. But yet, the countries within we have, look, Bangladesh alone has done an excellent job. We have created 2 funds before anybody could think of the Climate Vulnerable Trust Fund and Climate Resilience Fund. We did it in as early as 2009. Can you believe it? We created comprehensive. But the issue is, of course, the other countries are in the process, but at times we have to make a campaign. I need your help. I need the help of the media. Because as I said earlier, you see, we have one planet, only this earth. And we have to save this earth. And therefore we have to work together. I said this is most vulnerable. Look at if Narao Republic goes underwater, or let's say if this Kiribati goes underwater. You are talking only few hundred people. Narao maybe 10,000 people. But if Bangladesh, this 20% of it goes underwater, you are talking about displacement of, uprooting of around 25 to 30 million people. Just imagine the sheer number of human beings. So, this is the most vulnerable, and we are getting some help. Our partners have been helping us in varieties of ways, UK, for example, and some of other partners. But the way they should have come, it is still short of expectation. We are hoping when we will create this GCA, when we will be sharing our expertise and experience. We have done a tremendous job in Bangladesh in terms of climatic preparedness and disaster management. We are one of the top in the world in terms of disaster management. And I hope that when we will show those examples, other partners will come forward. Because it is not only our problem. It's a global problem, and it has to be resolved globally. All countries have to come together. There is no alternative to it. All countries have to come together. And I must say that there are many countries which are coming forward, and at least they have declared their NDCs, their nationally determined contributions, and in the process they are coming forward for mitigation. And the South Asian region is most vulnerable. We have to protect it, and therefore we have to find out a way out and also help them. I have in my statement that I have requested all our partner countries to come forward to save humanity, save this planet. And today it is Bangladesh or, the Kiribati. Tomorrow it could be, part of USA and other countries. So we cannot, we have to start this crusade and must win. And we will win. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Foreign Minister. We understand there are some 44 friends from the media who are connected with us. Please, if you raise your hands, and then we will be able to identify you and give you the floor. We have a question from Mr. Ahmed Reza from Jamuna Television to Patrick. How GCA Dhaka office can be more effective to challenge the climate change issues? Patrick.
Well, thank you very much to Mr. Ahmed Reza for that very important questions. The first starting point is, as Minister Momen just indicated, as the Honorable Prime Minister indicated in her keynote remarks, lots of adaptation action is already happening in the region as a whole, but in Bangladesh in particular. If we want to scale up and accelerate adaptation action, it is extremely important that we learn what is working and what is not working, And based on that understanding, that we replicate success interventions across the region and also with other regions. So our strong focus will be on replication of best practices. We're not here to reinvent the wheel. We are very keen to work with the governments, of course, government partners, but also with development partners in the region to really align with their efforts, because together, as the minister also just indicated, we're much stronger and much more impactful. Maybe back on the question which was just raised on, is there sufficient support to the region as a whole? I think there is support. The example of the Netherlands Prime Minister and the collaboration on the Delta Plan 2100 is one example, but much more is required from the international community as a whole to support and help address this very urgent challenge for the years to come.
A panel discussion that will take place very soon. So I've been requested by the organizers if our distinguished members of the media could send their questions through email or any other means, then we will respond from the Dhaka GCA office. Meanwhile, I would like to request all of you to promote this important organization and its activities with particular attention and wide publicity. And again, I thank all of you for being with us and giving your time and participation at this event. Thank you, honorable ministers, and thank all the distinguished colleagues. Thank you. এরপরে আবার একটা আছে,
6টায় পার্টনারশিপ ফোরাম হবে।